One of my absolute favorite slow cooker recipes is tomato basil soup. I found a few ways that I can cut the corners and cook it on a weeknight. Tomato basil soup is not complete without an amazing grilled cheese to go with it. So I am using California Gold Miner sourdough bread to make a basil artichoke grilled cheese that is tangy and so delicious. But before I get to the recipe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and of course the bell icon so that you get all of my recipes and you'll be up to date on everything that I'm cooking in the kitchen. Okay, so I'm using my InstantPot, which is an electric pressure cooker. And first of all, that's really gonna help trim down on our time. And all I need to do is turn the saute on. Okay, so I'm gonna add, let's see, a little bit of olive oil down in the bottom of my pan. So what I like about this pressure cooker is that it is electric, so I don't have to really worry about it sitting on the stove or, turning it off or leaving the house. The second that it finishes cooking, it goes to keep warm, so this soup is gonna taste even better the longer that it cooks. But the other thing I like is that it's got a stainless steel insert, so I can do all of my sauteing in here, add all of the ingredients, and then I don't have to dirty one more pan, which I love. All right, so I'm starting with some of my aromatic flavors. I have garlic, and I'm gonna use an immersion blender to blend this all up, so I'm not even worried about there being big chunks, because afterwards it's gonna be blended. Garlic and onions. So here's a quick tip. When you get back from the grocery store, if you have just a few minutes to peel some garlic, to peel carrots and cube them and put them in a container, weeknight dinners are so much easier to prepare. So I have carrots and celery, and let's give that a little stir. All right, so here are some of my cheats. I'm using store-bought basil pesto. I am gonna add some fresh basil at the very end, but this just saves me a few steps. It adds a really yummy layer of flavor, and it made my life so much easier. I'm also using sun-dried tomato in olive oil. So the delicious flavor of the sun-dried tomatoes plus the olive oil that it's been hanging out in adds so much flavor. Chicken broth. Oh my God, you guys, we're almost done. So easy, isn't it? And then a couple cans of peeled tomatoes. Okay, now I'm using San Marzano tomatoes. That is important to me. It's imported from Italy. They're really, really yummy. They are picked and canned at perfect peak freshness. So they make a really delicious tomato soup. Okay, so I take this, and as the tomatoes come out, I take them with my hand and I crush them up. Just a little bit. All right, so I pressed cancel. I'm gonna put my top on. Make sure that my seal is on, which is right here at the top, and then all I have to do is press soup. Boop. 30 minutes, dinner is gonna be done. So while this cooks in my Instant Pot, I'm gonna show you how to make this amazing artichoke and basil grilled cheese sandwich. All right, let's talk about grilled cheese. We are making an ultimate grilled cheese, no just ordinary grilled cheese. And I'm starting with a really high quality bread. I'm using California Gold Miner sourdough bread, and I partnered with them to create this recipe. And what I love about it is that it's slow crafted, so for 24 hours fermented to have that amazing, tangy flavor. But it's also non-GMO. They've committed to going non-GMO, and I really love that about this bread and their commitment to really quality ingredients. So I'm gonna start with some butter in the bottom of the pan, because every good grilled cheese should start with that. And we're making it with basil pesto and with artichokes, which is perfect because we have the basil pesto in the tomato soup and it goes really well together. And I love that this bread is thick enough and crusty enough to really stand up to the tomato soup, so it's gonna be really good for dunking. All right, so I have that here. Basil pesto is gonna be our spread down at the bottom. And I don't wanna go too heavy on this because I want this bread to stay nice and crusty and crispy. Now, a couple slices of smoked Gouda. I love the smokiness of the Gouda with the tanginess of the bread. It's really delicious. And now I'm gonna layer some artichoke hearts. So these are packed in oil, really flavorful. And I think it's such a delightful little bite when you bite into this sandwich to have something that's just a little bit unexpected. This bread is really versatile, so depending on what your family's kind of preferences and flavors, of course you can adjust this to just a classic sourdough grilled cheese or any other fillings you want. Another layer of cheese. I'm gonna put some mozzarella because I love the way that it melts. Again, I think it goes really well with tomato basil. I'm gonna take the basil pesto and smear it. It's a technical word, by the way, smearing the other side of the bread so that I get the basil pesto all over. And give it a flip. Oh my goodness. Sourdough bread in particular crisps up so nicely in a cast iron skillet. If you had a panini press, that would also be great for this too. You get those nice kind of crisscross ridges. All right, and that's it. I might be more excited about the actual sandwich than the tomato basil soup. Let's cut into it, see what we got. Let's see the pull apart meter. Oh yeah. All right, so my soup is finished cooking, but here's what I need to do to release the steam. I need to turn it from sealing to venting. Don't be afraid, it's totally easy. But there's the steam. Wow, look at that beautiful soup. Whew, that's hot, really hot. So I'm lazy. Instead of using another appliance that's going to get dirty, I have a hand immersion blender to blend up my soup. One last thing, splash of heavy cream really brings out so much of that yummy acidic flavor of the tomatoes. Perfect balance. Ooh, look at that color. Love it. I'm already dreaming of dunking a piece of that really crunchy sourdough bread into this hot, creamy soup. Okay. So the last little thing, I like to put a splash of cream at the top. And here comes your fresh basil. Just a little sprinkling on top. All right, there you have it. Weeknight tomato basil soup and a yummy grilled cheese. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what other recipes you want to see.